Okay, my brothers and sisters, I want to say, look to follow those who are godly. Look up and follow those Christians that are, as an example, those who are godly and who you can see Jesus in, and who follows Jesus, who imitates Jesus in their lifestyle, not in miracles and doing all the outward stuff, but in their lifestyle of purity and holiness, and that follow Jesus as an example. Those who imitate Christ, those who are godly. And it doesn't matter if it's your pastor or friends or family, whoever is, that you do not see Christ in and that you cannot look to as an example. Do not follow them. Do not follow them, because I'll show you here. It says in 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 1, this is Paul speaking. He says, imitate me just as I also imitate Christ. Imitate those, brothers and sisters. Look to those who imitate Christ in lifestyle, in purity, and those who don't love money. Matthew 6:24 talks about not loving money, but loving God. Those who look to have a pure heart and a pure mind, and that don't gossip, and that don't love this world, and that have a heart and a devotion just for Christ. And if there is none, you seek to be the one. You seek to be the light and the example. I'll tell you what, I've probably never met, I've never met, in my whole entire life, I've never met one godly person. And that goes to show you that the church is very full of the Babylonian spirit, love of this world. But I've never met one godly person, so godly that I could look up to, that I admire. Now, there is a person that's living now, but I've never met him. But in my whole entire life, I've never come across a Christian, a believer, in all the churches I've been to, and people that I know, that I could honestly look up to and I can say, wow, I admire that person. They follow. I want to be just like them. You know, I want to look like them in my life, in purity and holiness and love for Jesus. And I see Christ in them. They're looking to Christ. I want to follow them. I'm going to imitate them. There hasn't been. And, but that's why I seek to look and be an example. So, like I said, even if it's pastors and church people, the church today, Christians, most Christians are hypocrites. Most Christians talk with their mouth, but they don't act. They don't do what Christ says. Like Jesus says, you cannot love money. It's very clear in scripture. You cannot love money. You either love money or you love God. You cannot love both. Most Christians, 99% of Christians that say they love Jesus are hypocrites. They love money. They're full of the love of money. Love of money spews out their mouth, deep in their heart. They want to be rich, and deep in their heart, they want to have material things. I don't want that. I don't want to follow those kind of people, because Jesus said it in Matthew 6:24. I'll read it right here. He says, no one can serve two masters, for he will either hate the one or love the other, or else he will be loyal to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon. That's just one way. And another way is Christians today are full of the love of money, the love of self, the love of this world, material things, and full of gossip about people and about this and about that. Totally contrary to the life of Jesus, totally contrary to how Jesus lived in his life. Look to follow those people that actually are not actors. Most Christians I've come across in my life are actors. That's what the word hypocrite means. See, the word hypocrite, it means actor. That's what that means. So someone that says something, but they don't do it. Like I said, most people that I've talked to and come across, they try to act holy and speak holy and talk the right things and quote Bible verses. But in their life, they gossip, they love money, they lust, and they do this, and they don't really love Jesus. Now, Philippians chapter 4, let me go here. Philippians chapter 3, another verse I can go to. He says right here, Philippians chapter 3, verse 17, brethren, join in following my example. This is Paul speaking. He said, join in following my example and note those who so walk as you have us for a pattern. Follow those as an example, those who you see Christ in. And that's what Paul was saying. Join in following my example how he lived and all that. And another verse over here, it says, and to prove it, it says right here in Philippians chapter 4, verse 9, after he's talking about the things to meditate on, whatever things are just and pure and good report. Then he goes in verse 9, he says, the things which you learned and received and heard and saw in me, these do, and the God of peace will be with you. The things that you saw in me, the things that you heard and saw in me. Don't be like this backslidden Babylonian, hypocritical Christian people that say they're Christians. Today we're at the door, guys. We're at the door. And this is one of the things that Jesus mentioned about the great falling away and being deceived and all this. So many people will come and they'll say, I'm of Christ, I'm anointed, but will deceive people. That's through false prophets. That's through Christians that just want to be like the world, but have a reputation of following Christ. All this garbage. Don't be like the backslidden people. Don't be like hypocritical Christians. Follow the word, read the word, and look how Jesus lived. And if you see that in somebody, follow them. If you see the life of Jesus Christ, how he lived, and honoring God and standing up for God and being bold and not wanting to love this world and not compromising in anything and not gossiping and not slandering and not having hate in his heart, being patient and all the fruits of the Spirit and all these things, you follow that. When you see that life in Jesus here and you see that in somebody, follow them. But if you don't follow them. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Don't follow them. Don't compromise. It doesn't matter what kind of person they are, if it's family, friends, people that you've known for years, that you've been going to church with, whatever. Don't compromise. Follow Christ. Don't be a pleaser of men. Please Jesus, because in the end, that's all that's going to count. That's all that's going to matter, is following Christ. So brothers and sisters, I wanted to say that. Follow Christ. Follow those who follow Christ and imitate Christ. Don't be a pleaser of men, but please God. And in the end, it'll be worth it all. God bless you.